Good morning, everybody. Got a special guest today, Seamus the cat. I had some people asking about Seamus. He made an appearance, I don't know, a few months ago. I said, well, usually he's taking a nap during the show. So I woke him up. So we'll see how this goes. Karen Buzzard, good morning. Good to have you here. That's my ma. What's your language? She uses pretty foul language, though, sometimes. I've heard her say, darn it and dang it, multiple times. It is a family show. Thank you. Kathleen Beckett Napier, good morning. You're up early today. Good to have you here. Bob Dewey, good morning. I love it. Sue Francis, that's my aunt. Eddie Ambras, also my aunt. Ruthie, good morning. Randy Carnes, good morning. So there we go. All right. Oh, yep, there's Ruthie saying good morning to Seamus. He's going to find his spot here. He's trying to find a good, comfortable sleeping position. Yeah, that's pretty much, it would be a good show. A friend of mine was telling me, a friend of his has a TikTok page, and I don't know anything about that stuff, but the TikTok page is basically, hey, Brian Bennett, good morning. Or Kim, I guess whichever. Good morning. Jeremy Hunt, good morning. Betty Carlson, good morning. Julie Stover, good morning. Coffee cup for everybody. Yeah, so Seamus is here. Oh, going to show me who's boss. Seamus is getting old. Not quite as old as me. Seamus has been around 16 years, I think, at this point. Yeah, my little buddy, huh? He's not gonna take much more of this. He is missing his nap time. He's already had the second breakfast. He's been conning people in our household for chicken as well. So he's been getting chicken because he's so skinny. He tells everybody he's too skinny. So yeah, so that's pretty much yeah, there we go. All right, buddy. You ready to get down? Okay. You want to say goodbye to everybody? Oh, now you're just gonna lay there on me? All right, you can stay. Fine with me. So how's everybody this morning? I'm good. Seamus. He really wasn't the nicest cat for a long time. I mean, he's always been super charming, but he was very famous for biting people's hands. Like, oh, what a cute little cat, and then he'd bite you. So then years as a retired hand biter, he now has gotten kind of reasonable to hang out with. Deb, good morning. Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday here, Columbus, Ohio. It is cold this morning, windy and not super windy, but snowy. Took a little walk this morning. I love to walk in the snow. I don't know why. If it's snowing out, I want to be out in it. It's so weird. There must be polar bear blood in me or Viking blood or something. I don't know what it is. But this morning when I get up and I saw it was snowing, I'm like, I want to go for a walk. And I get outside, I'm like, I don't know if I should have went for a walk because it was pretty cold. It's a cold way to start the day. But then you get you all you get out in that cold air, get you moving. All right, buddy, you're gonna have to switch arms or something. Let me try if I can pull this maneuver. He's not gonna up. There we go. Okay, well, that's the day. So that's the day. That's pretty much it. I like to go out in the. Well, then that's here's the genius part. You're out walking in a snowstorm, can't be seen. Most people are fiddling with their gadgets, and still no pants. So 80 degrees in Fort Myers. Well, that sounds pretty awesome. Except I like the snow. Doesn't snow in Fort Myers very often. Paula Jack, good morning. Curtis Posner, good morning. Jim Black, good morning. So all right, buddy. All right. He's getting there we go. It's I was watching some old shows, and the old when Jack Hanna would come on when Jack Hamill would come on like the Tonight Show with or like I guess Jack Hanna was on the Letterman show, I think. Right. But they bring the animals, and the animals are nice for a little while, then the animals have had it. And that is pretty much he's still hanging out. Seamus is at it. He's over it. He's gonna go find something to eat or sleep on. Which honestly isn't a bad way to go. There's worse ways to live your life. Yes, Randy Carnes, I am shocked to hear that you hate snow. When all this stuff started, you guys were in Florida, right? What's it been, 10 months? It's been more than 10 months, right? We're at like 45 weeks. The only reason I know it's 45 weeks is because the Pandemic Cellmates are doing their 45th show. So I'm assuming that's 45 weeks. That's crazy that here we are still doing this show 45 weeks later. 3 years. That's the truth. You should go back, Randy. Florida's a beautiful state. They keep it warm down there for the most part. I have been there a few times when it was chilly. Now, not chilly to, my tasty Midwestern, Northern blood, but you see Floridians walking around, they don't have coats. I think is really the problem. That's why if they had a coat, they wouldn't have it. They would know that they have like a loose sweater or something. So, Brandon Rogers, good morning. Good to see you here on, buddy. I haven't seen you in a little while. Julie says it seems like a great life. I assume you're talking about looking for something to eat and then napping. To be quite honest, I could be down with that. That's actually not a whole lot different than how I wish. There was a time though when I was pretty much all I did. As soon as you get the shot, you're out of here. Good for you, man. Yeah, go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Get that and go. Go see the world. Go see Florida. Let's see. Road trip. That is something, Randy. Whenever, let us know where you go, and we'll come down and do the show from there, from the camper. And it's funny. There's something about planning a trip that elevates your mood. At least for me. Like I always feel substantially. Florida is not the world. You're right. I said or Florida. Christina Hall, good morning. Betty Boddock, but yeah. There are times when you get to Florida that it gets cold. Aw, isn't that sweet? But I'm currently I get that I try I love to do adventures. Hey, this has not been a great year for it, but also it's been a really great year for it. I've done some things that I wouldn't normally have done, like some hikes and things like that. Not as long overarching as I thought, but planning a trip right now. So absolutely. Planning a trip right now to do. I think it's called the Gap, the Great Allegheny Passage. Me and my neighbor, we're going to ride from Washington, D.C. to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And during that, it's going to be sometime in June. We're still kind of firing out the dates. Obviously, if everything is okay to do it, but it looks like, should be all right. It's on the rails to trail system, so 99% of the time you're not even on regular. You're not sharing the road with cars. You're just other cyclists and walkers and the rollerbladers. Morning, Jason Bragg. Yeah, Julia. Like planning a trip is fun. This has been a lot of fun. And neighbor Steve, that's who I'm doing the trip with, is an avid cyclist. I like to ride a bike. I've never done the kind of mileage, certainly not back to back, that this is going to be. We're working it out. The trip is roughly 340 miles, give or take. And I would go to Chubby Bunny Farm in Arlington, Washington. That'd be good. That'd be fun. I love the Pacific Northwest. That'd be great. But this trip, we're planning on doing 40 to 50 miles a day. And I've done 40 or 50 miles in a car several times. I did it a few days ago. Drove 50 miles straight through, no breaks. I was pretty pleased with myself, if I'm being honest. But on a bicycle, it's slightly different. And we're working out so I have this book, No Sheets Here, Just Heats. That's awesome. Sheets, I don't know if you've ever been to a Sheets, but it's a fantastic place to stop and get snacks. It's, really good gas. Their petroleum products are all fabulous. Their restrooms are clean. They're usually blue tiled, at least the few hundred that I've been to. And they also have food there that is really awesome. Well, you see, Christina, how I did 50 miles without stopping for snacks is I did a drive-through window. So that was it. No, Jessica, I'm just gonna break my butt in. I'll be fine. I could use a little reinforcement of that I've been living a sedentary life. So, but this book I have is a trip. It's the trip. So they are pre-padded from the inside. This book is it's from DC to Pittsburgh, and it's every town that you ride through, and it's along the canal system. So there's locks, there's all kinds of history. It really is going to be. It's the kind of thing I love these kind of sheets, yada yada yada. Brandon, right? It does sound great. Look, there's parts that are going to stink. It might rain the whole time. You kind of got to take that when you plan an adventure. You just have to be. There comes a point where you're like, well, we're going. Doesn't matter what's happening. Yeah, I'll tell you. So, funny story about Buckeye fans throughout the world. We got married in the Outer Banks, and we were there earlier and setting up and doing all the things. It actually isn't, Glenn. It's uphill the first day, and then it runs downhill. So when you go from DC to Pittsburgh, the first day is terrible. Well, or I don't know if it's the day, but once you hit the point, though, then it's downhill. I mean, it's not like you're hands up coasting. That's why it's recommended to go DC to Pittsburgh and then Pittsburgh to DC. So yeah, okay, you can follow in the car. Yeah. Oh, but at the we were talking to one caterer or something like that, and where you from, and I was like, Western Pennsylvania, and he's like, where's your jersey? Because everyone wears the Steeler jersey. I'm like, no, we live in Columbus, Ohio now. And then he's like, well, where's your jersey? So apparently those two areas represent themselves pretty well when they travel abroad. So I always find that little story kind of funny. I hope you found it funny. So anyways, the trip, here's what I'm thinking though, is I talked to Steve and I said, here's how the Buzzard family is going to react to this. They're not going to go on the trip, but they'll be waiting when we get back. So we will finish in a PPP jersey. Why not? That would be funny, actually. I like the baseball shirts more than anything, like the loose collar with the buttons. It's kind of like you're banking, but you're not. We'll have to look into that. That would be super fun. But I am certain. So the trail ends to my knowledge, right at the Point State Park, where the three rivers come together. So it's the Allegheny, the Mon, right? Yeah, the Allegheny, the Monongahela, which form the Ohio. It's incredible. And what my family will do, they'll be waiting there, and then they'll scoop us up and take us back to the hills, and we'll have a festival of sorts of beer and sausages and all kinds of treats and salty treats, and maybe some homemade pies, and probably a lot of coffee. So I said to Steve, I'm like, whatever our planned budget is for time, we have to add one more day because we're going to have to go to the family celebration that we did the trip. And he's like, I think that sounds pretty awesome. So we'll see as time gets closer. Who knows? Maybe we'll just have a giant PPP festival in Western Pennsylvania to celebrate the beer and sausage trip. Steve, you're what's known as hilarious. I don't know, man. How do you get 180 miles in a row without some ding dong cutting in front of you or traffic choking down? No, you were out though. You were in the North Midwest quite a bit, right? That would be when we were in the van in the Saving Jane days. I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes and drive like this. And to be quite honest, CUP. Well, we've already talked about getting the 88 or no, one of the bands back together for that. So that's why not? Let's see if we can figure it out. That'll be fun. And yeah, so like I remember I only drove across, what is that, 90, I think, South Dakota. Only drove that once, maybe twice, but it's a long road of nothing. I mean, no, you think like, oh, South Dakota, of course there's nothing. And if you've never been there, or if you've never actually, like for me, driving and traveling, the big change was when you cross the Mississippi. Like the East Coast, or we'll say east of the Mississippi, there's a certain amount of expectations that are met as far as traveling. Like the exits, the amount of facilities and rest stops, and really just signs of civilization. Like it's all fairly, in the upper Northeast, like New England, it's denser at certain points. And when you get into like the South, and there's parts where it's a little more expansive. But in general, road stops, exits, sheets, it's the kind of thing we're talking about. When we started as a band, when we were touring and we were in the van, which means you have to budget your restroom visits, your gas stops, and your food. There is a Wall's drugstore every 5 miles. That's the truth. But when you get past the Mississippi, and really particularly, like once you get clear of like, Kansas City and, that kind of, anything that was any of the civilization that exists mainly because of the Mississippi, once you pass that, I mean, it gets desolate, like very quickly. Right. Not even corn. Yeah, the wall drug. That's exactly it. So, and I've driven like to Denver, and I've come across that way, like Nebraska and all those those states, and it's a little bit more of this than I expected when I was driving it. And you used to how I would spend my time. It'd be like I had better eyes back then, and I'd like, I wonder how far away I can see a tower, and I would try to guess how many miles away you could see a tower. And I don't remember now, but I swear it just seemed like that's how boring it gets. There's nothing to do. And sometimes when it's windy out there, it's super windy. So we were doing a tour. We were going from Corn Palace. I was going to say the Corn Palace. We started in Columbus. Like we were on the road. We had a night in Columbus. We just had a show here, and everyone slept in their own beds for a change instead of a hotel. And then we left at like midnight. We had a show in Appleton, Wisconsin. And a funny little story. We had gotten into an argument as a band. Happens, I have no idea what it was about. Doesn't matter. We got into this argument, and we got into the van. Nobody was speaking. And these problems have a tendency to take care of themselves. Now, also a little side note: in the van, we never had music on. If you had your own, this is the beginning of the iPod era. So if you had your own music, cool. You had your earbuds on, cool. I didn't run up stereo through the van. I'm one of those guys, like, I have to turn the radio down to see better. I don't know. I don't know. I can't see it. Turn that music down. I don't know. I can't focus. Good morning, Dave Bouchard. Dave, I had Seamus on this morning. You missed it. Is he still here? No, he skedaddled. But we drove from Columbus, Ohio to Appleton, Wisconsin. That's exactly, John. And this is the only thing I'm going to say. We drove from Appleton, Wisconsin, or from here to Appleton, Wisconsin in silence. Like nobody spoke. The first few hours was funny. The next 10 hours was it was awkward to say. So like we'd stop at a gas station up there. That's a what are they guys? It come and goes. It's not a. They're great though. But we'd stop at one of those places and you drink your Caribou coffee up there, and like we were the most polite. Like excuse me, like getting out of the van. Like it was so funny. But we, that next time we plugged in, it was fine. And everybody got along. It's fine. That kind of stuff happens. So, but anyways, we went from Appleton, Wisconsin, then we had to be in Bozeman, Montana, in like it was a pretty short period of time that we had to be from Columbus to Green Bay or Appleton, and then from Appleton to Bozeman. And like we get in the car or we get in the van, and we have a short window of time. Like we have like a 4-hour window that we have to be there and on stage, kind of a thing. Like from the point that we're leaving in there. And Scott, do you know, or Steve, from Appleton, Wisconsin to Bozeman, Montana? I mean, I want to say it was over a day's worth of drive. Like I think it was like 28 hours, and we tried. I think we did it straight. I actually loved Bozeman, Montana. On a quick side note, it was like there's something modern and yet rustic about the whole thing. Like when we got to Bozeman, we had a couple of days where we had to until our next show. I think we had maybe it was 2 days. I don't know. 900 miles. Thank you, Steve. And at Steve's driving, that's only 10 hours. But dragging a van, 18 hours. It felt like it was longer than that. Yeah, I've done the Minnesota thing a couple of times too, where it's basically an up and back where you don't schedule in a sleep day because you're like, Minneapolis, how far is it? Far. Actually, if you weren't sure, it's far. And you shouldn't drive up, play a show, and drive right back. 2020 hindsight, as they say. So, all right. Well, hey, it was cold this morning. Snow's in the air. I'm going to say 21 degrees. Oh, dead on. I was within 3 degrees. So that's pretty good. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, Steve Dietering drives like the wind, ladies and gentlemen. Like he's got a jet engine strapped to the back of the Jeep. Yeah, Jeremy. That's always the way it goes. It's always back to back. You drive up, play the show, turn around, drive right back, and then when you get home, you're like, why did we do this? Road trip to West Virginia. Yeah. Depending on what part of West Virginia you get into, their freeway system's great, but their side roads get twisty and windy. He has a lead foot. I think he got a whole lead leg, if you know what I'm saying. That guy drives fast. So, all right, everybody. Great show today. Good to have you on board. Seamus, thanks for being here. Scott, thanks for all the work. I think that's about it. I got work to do, and I think that's what we're gonna do. We talked about driving and music and having fun. So, all right, everybody. I love every one of you. I mean, every one of you. Even you.